You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
No block, no rock.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us, 865-658-5824. Joined alongside Tim, live in Green Bay. Back to talk a little Packers this evening. Tim, how was your day, sir?
Man, good. Good day. Beautiful day in Green Bay. Getting ready for Sunday already, you know, getting the house together, doing my my ticket shopping, waiting for my buddy Tony to call me and let me know if he's coming to the game with me or not.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late?
Exactly. So he's a little younger than me. You know, those youngsters, they like to do stuff last minute. So
I got you.
It's all good. But no, great day, man. How you doing, man? You feeling better or what? What's going on?
We're getting there, man. We're getting there. I think we're on the downswing of things here. We're just coasting away from the illness, so we're feeling good, man. I'll tell you, nice. It's a fun day to follow the NFL and follow the Packers and all the information coming out, man. You talk about a multitude of storylines, Tim. They're everywhere, dude. I mean, there's no shortage of topics to talk about. I'm really excited about tonight's show. Hopefully, I can hold up for the entire show here, and we don't have to cut it short. That's the plan. And some people are probably wondering, why are you guys going live so early? I'm going to try to do this when I can. When there's a game coming on in that 8 o'clock hour, I'd like to do the show an hour early. That way you guys aren't trying to watch the show, watch our show, watch the game, that type of thing. And we don't cut into your football watching experience there, if that makes sense. So that's definitely the plan. But I know, Tim, you said you were doing some shopping. All right, Tim, first things first, man. This Jordan Love injury, when we seen him getting off the plane with no crutches, no nothing, right, just a slight limp, and the fact that they let him walk around on the sideline, one thing you could check off the sheet there was no ACL. That would never have happened if the ACL was torn. So that immediately steers you toward, okay, is it an MCL? Is it a PCL? Is it a meniscus? What might it be? And then as soon as the information came out, MCL, everybody's focus immediately shifts to what stage, right? And to the best of my knowledge, stage 1 through 3, 3 being the most severe, 1 being, the mildest version. You're somewhere between a 1 and a 2. And the fact that the first question that was going to be asked was, are they going to put him on IR? Because if they put him on IR, that says they're not comfortable with him playing within the next 3 games, right? There's no reason not to keep him off the IR if there's no chance of him playing. So the fact that they didn't put him on the IR, which we'll talk about here in a minute, Matt LaFleur's decision on that. I want to back up. I was listening to Wildy and Tausch earlier today, and for those of you who actually care about what the injury is, Tauscher explained to the best of his knowledge, based off of his experiences with ligaments, things like that. When the MCL is torn or when it's sprained, every sprain is a tear. That's pretty common knowledge, right? When you sprain a ligament, when you sprain something, you're actually tearing something, right? Yep. So now how severe is that tear? With the MCL, like Tauscher pointed out, the goal is rest and let scar tissue build up over it, okay? And that's what's going to re-strengthen it. So that's why it's so important to stay off of it, and you're risking re-injuring it if you don't let that scar tissue really kind of form around the wound, right, around the tear of the sprain. So I thought it was really cool hearing Tauscher's take on that, Tim, and he was talking about way back in the day, Marco Rivera. I'm sure you remember that name. Great guard, played for the Packers.
Yep.
He played on a torn MCL. And offensive linemen, like Tauscher said, as long as they could absorb a bull rush, then, hey, brace that thing up and go. With the quarterback, a lot different story, a lot more pivoting, a lot more. And it sounds silly to think that there's less involved playing offensive line with the strain on a ligament than there is a quarterback. But
there's also less salary involved too. You're not paying a right
true.
guard $200 million. So
yeah. So we initially reported 3 to 6 weeks is what we're hearing, right? I tend to lean toward the 3 side because everybody was saying it was closer to a 1 than a 2 as far as the severity of the injury. So here's some information that came out today, and we'll just kind of dive into it. Let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat. First of all, thank you all for swinging through. I know we've already got several comments marked. We're going to get to the chat here in just a second. You know what? Instead, Tim, let's hit the chat, and then we'll get right back to the Aaron Rodgers news. But we'll just kind of set the stage. That's what we're going to open up with here, okay? AFAM in the chat said, how about we don't use Musgrave as a do-it-all tight end and put him in the best position to succeed? There is such a disconnect between Goot and this coaching staff. Before this game, I probably would have disagreed with you, AFAM, but there does seem like there's a little bit of disconnect there. I can't remember who else was talking about it today. It may have been Woody and Tauscher. It might have been one of their guests. But it just seems like first of all, it felt like Matt LaFleur was a little hesitant on Malik Willis being ready, but Goody obviously feels like, hey, look, LaFleur seemed to kind of defend Sean Clifford. And then Goody made a public statement after camp that, hey, he more or less taking a step back in camp. I'm paraphrasing there, obviously. So it feels like there's a little disconnect there, but also trying to utilize Musgrave as a true Y attached and everything. Yeah. It's definitely not his game, right? You want him to be that extra man in 12, in my opinion. And that's really what we found out. We're going to get into some tight end talk here in a little bit of who is the true number 1 tight end, which is really interesting. Chris N says, say with Quay Walker, he's just not a Mike. Chris, I see where you're coming from there, and he probably would be more comfortable playing Will. The only problem is, to Quay's strength right now, I really believe it's his pass coverage.
Yep.
If you're going to have him in pass coverage, when you're playing the Will spot, you're going to be man up on the running back more often and covering flat assignments. And Quay, with his size, his height, as well as his speed, to me, his strength is covering the seam. I understand exactly where you're coming from. If it wasn't for Quay's best ability being coverage, and specifically down the seam, like you've seen that interception, guys, that was just as much a credit to Quay as it was Xavier McKinney in that particular play. The rest of the game, cheeks. I'm not going to defend him, okay? It was bad. The run fits were horrible. But that's the only problem I got there, Chris, is if you put him at Will, you're not playing him to his strength, which would be the first time we did that. You got anything on that, Tim?
I mean, let's be real. Quay's been the Mike for 3 years. He's got the green dot. He's been the Mike. He is a Mike. I understand your, feelings about, where he might be better suited and that kind of thing. But I think Quay has proven that he can play that position in this defense. And you're right. Having him run in coverage with a linebacker, with a running back would be great. But not in a great way. We saw what he can do against a receiver. We can see what he can do against tight ends, especially these leaks or these crossers, little post over the middle, those kind of things. Quay is athletic, and I said it last night on the pod, and I truly believe it. His FBI has improved. He is processing the game faster, quicker. He's making the reads that he needs to make. So all in all, saying that he's just not a Mike, I'm not buying that anymore. I think he's proved that he can, at the very least, not be a liability as your Mike linebacker. But I kind of see where Chris is coming from here because of the talent that we have in this linebacker room. You look at Edrin Cooper, you look at Tyron Hopper, some of these guys waiting in the wings, and you think, well, hey, can we just maybe mix up these linebackers a little bit, get some different looks, see what we've got. I would agree with that statement 100%, but I'm not on board with the Quay's not a Mike. Quay's been playing Mike since his rookie year, and it looks like he's going to continue to do it. And we just got to stick with it and roll with it. He's a young player. This is a big year for him, third year. So let's see how he does. I'm the Mike, like you always say, Clayton. That's your general out there, and it's a lot more than just your physical attributes. It's also about processing the game and getting your reads, we talked about that in Chalk Talk last night, man. He picked up that go route immediately. And it led to a Xavier McKinney interception. So I'm on board. I think Quay is the Mike. I will say that.
Yeah. All right, there you go. So again, Edgerrin Cooper, I went back and watched all his snaps today, and I put a tweet out. We'll hit on it here in a minute. Tim, it was extremely small sample size, but that man looks like a dog. And you guys know I don't throw that around like, I'm typically the one. You heard me going into the game here against the Eagles. I was the one going, I don't feel so good. I'm more of that play it safe type person, especially when it comes to gambling or making I hate making predictions. I absolutely despise it. But I'm telling you, man, what I seen with Coop was like, whoo, this dude, that might be our linebacker of the future, as in like our Fred Warner type. Yep. People go, whoa, Clayton, slow down. It was 11 snaps. Thank you for telling me to slow down because I need to. I'm just saying it was that exciting watching him in those few snaps he played. It just didn't look too big for him. TC fan with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Sorry for the wait there, bub. Start, bench, cut. Malik Willis, Scott Tolzien, Deshaun Kaiser. I'm going to say start Malik Willis, cut Scott Tolzien, and cut Deshaun Kaiser. Just cut them both, all right? We're not going to bench any of them. We're going to get rid of those. Now, Scott Tolzien was a lot of fun to watch, man. That spin move that he put on that Minnesota Vikings player in that one game that he played for the Packers was just phenomenal. Old Scoots, you got to love it. And Deshaun Kaiser, I can't lie, fellas. I watched him at Notre Dame, and when the Packers traded for him, I was so hyped. I was like, oh, man, we got us a solid back. Boy, he was cheeks at the end. Oh, my God, it was so bad. But, I think if I have to answer the question, and you did pay for a super chat, so we're going to honor it. I'm probably starting Scott Tolzien. I'm going to bench Malik Willis, and I'm cutting Deshaun Kaiser.
You heard it from a fan right here.
And Trucker John somewhere is going, Clayton, I thought you were committed to our Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So, there you go. Tim, what about you, man?
I'm starting Malik Willis. I'm gonna bench Tolzien, and I'm gonna cut Kaiser.
Got it. I wanted to go that route, but man, I really liked watching Scoot play. He was a lot of fun. He was. But again, thank you so much, TC fan. Appreciate the super chat, bub. Breaking news here. I don't know if you guys have time to get them out of your fantasy lineup or not. Maybe set. But Christian McCaffrey is inactive tonight with a calf injury. So just so you guys know. And here's the thing. They won't let you change stuff on Underdog and some of these apps that do the daily fantasy stuff. They don't know. You already got it set in. Well, I picked the under on Christian McCaffrey tonight, so they better – I'm going to tell them, no, they can't change it on me. You know what I'm saying, Tim? So CJN in the chat says, anyone see the video of Myers at the goal line whiff on a block, but ended up blocking Walker from his block? Both of them standing there as Jacobs barely got back to the line of scrimmage. And then CJN went on to say someone needs to make a video of all the Myers whiffs. CJN, they were everywhere. And what's crazy, Tim, is like Myers is so damn athletic. He gets out to the point of attack. And we did show on Chalk Talk. One block he did get out there on the perimeter and seal off for Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
Man, it was one of a few, and there were many on tape that was just like, it's like he gets there, and I don't know if he gets too excited or what, but man, he just can't.
It's execution, man. You hit it on the head. It's an execution factor. He's got the RAS, he's got all these measurables that we liked. He's been with the team. He knows what we're doing offensively. But yeah, there are plays where he looks like an absolute dog. And then there's plays where it's like, oh my God, get this guy off the team. Like there's no middle gray area with him. It's either, a raging success or a raging dumpster fire a lot of times. And that's why, Josh gets a lot of heat from the fan base. But I got to think at some point it's going to change, right? I don't know. Is it just, I don't know how long we can wait. I mean, we waited 7 years with Darnell Savage and we saw how that went.
Felt like 70 years.
I got to tell you, I like Josh Myers. He's a great teammate. I'll tell you that. He's a good locker room guy. The dudes respect him, and from a fan standpoint, there's there's really no reason not to like the guy other than when you see him whiffing or blocking his own guy, or, anytime he's got his back to the defensive line, that's always scary when you see that on film. But yeah, I don't know. My gut wants to say, hey, ease up on Josh a little bit, but then I see things and I'm like, oh man, we have valid arguments here. What the hell's going on out there, as Coach Lombardi would say.
Exactly. Prince in the chat says, looking forward to seeing 12 ride again tonight, talking about the Niners playing the Jets. Yes, the Jets playing the Niners. And then Omer said, yes, big game tonight. We see that A-Rod and the Jets are made of. In San Francisco, if he wins, that the talk will start then.
All he's got to do is play more than 5 snaps, and
it's already a positive, right?
It's already a positive.
So you seen 12 out there warming up earlier tonight. I ain't gonna lie to him. I'm rooting for Aaron. Tell you what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for a Packers Jets Super Bowl. That would be phenomenal.
Oh my
How
gosh!
cool would that be?
Can you imagine? You can't tell me that old Raj over there in the league office isn't chomping at the bit for something like that, right?
If Jacob was in there, he'd be saying, "Oh, they're already drumming it up. I know they are. They're fixing it right now."
I'll tell you what, though, just looking at him here, I know this is just like, pregame walkthrough in your skivvies or whatever, but the old dog is definitely capable of learning new tricks. And Aaron's had a whole year off rehabbing and watching what happened. You can't write the Jets off. You just can't. And you can't write Aaron Rodgers off. You just can't. So, and they got a defense over there in New Jersey. So, and with 12 under center, you're always going to compete. So, how do you not root for a guy like that? That's
Kick off the 2024 football season with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. It's the easiest way to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. This September, get automatic win every week by picking Caleb Williams to get just 1 passing yard. That's right, 4 weeks of free wins, but only if you jump on it before September ends. And don't forget, you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks even has injury insurance, so if your player leaves the game early, you're still in the game. I've been loving Prize Picks, my go-to for simple, fast, and fun fantasy action. When my picks hit, I get paid in as little as 15 minutes. Download Prize Picks now and use code PACKDADDY to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code PACKDADDY for $50 guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Remember, Prize Picks is a skill-based fantasy game, making your lineups just got a whole lot more exciting. US Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why US Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from US Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
Like I always say, man, eight is the Jets quarterback, but 12 will always be the Packer. So, we keep Aaron close to our hearts, and you want to wish him well, absolutely. Especially since he's in the AFC. I'm with you, Clayton. Let the Jets go ahead and have themselves a hell of a year, and maybe they'll knock Mahomes and Kelsey out of the mix, and we'll get us a Packers Jets Super Bowl. You never know.
Yeah, and listen, last year was a totally different story. There was draft picks attached for the Packers. I wanted them to fall flat on their face. I didn't want what happened to Aaron to happen, obviously.
Yep.
But I don't think it goes without saying nobody wanted that. But I wouldn't say nobody. There are some toxic fans. But he looks like he's in great shape, man. So we'll see what he's got tonight, man. 40 years old. I'm telling you, it's hard for me to get out of bed. I don't know how this dude's going to do it. Was he 41, 42 now, right? If I remember correctly. So
something like that, early 40s.
Anyway, I know there's someone right now going, this is a Packers podcast. Stop talking Jets. All right, we're moving on. I apologize. So,
hey, that's a Packer Hall of Famer right there. That's
right.
a first ballot Packer Hall of Famer. The number is going to go right up next to Brett Favre's in Lambeau Field. So we can talk about Aaron Rodgers here and there. I don't see why not.
Yeah. And CJN in the chat says, Love will be back just in time for Clay and Emilio to watch him play, talking about Tennessee. So what I did, guys, I put a poll question up when the show went live. All right. And this is what is this? Okay. Anyway, I put a poll question up, and here's what it says. Okay. When do you think Jordan Love will return to the lineup? All right. And here are the options: this week versus the Colts, week 3 versus the Titans, or week 4 versus the Vikings. Right now, week 4 versus the Vikings is leading the way at 63%. Then week 3 is at 23%. And then this week against the Colts, 14%. Okay. And I just wanted to kind of test everybody's pulse on that to see when they thought he may be coming back. Right. And yeah, kind of see where everybody's head is. Now, we had a lot of information that came down the pike earlier today. We're going to hit on that now. First of all, let's just hit this. John in the chat says, feel like we need to win this next game. This next game being at home against the Colts, I agree. If you win one of the first 4, if Jordan misses all 4 and you just win one of them, I think you still got a shot at that 10-win range, me personally. If you win 2, you still got a shot at that 11-win range. Somehow, some way you win all 3 of these, like I said, probably 13's on the table, maybe 14 at that point, to be honest with you, because that means this team really gelled well in the face of adversity. Again, if you can get 2 of these next 3, you're sitting in a really good spot. If you lose all 3, doesn't mean the season's over, but boy, it's going to be an uphill battle.
You're definitely behind the 8 ball, though, for
Yes,
sure.
Sir. Absolutely. All right. So
I think what was your vote on that poll, by the way? When do you think realistically we see him?
I think it'll probably be week 3 against the Titans, and that's not wishful thinking because I'm going to be there. But just
a little bit.
Based off the information we heard today, and we'll go ahead and dive into it now, that's what kind of got me thinking. But I'll tell you, before all the reports came out today, if someone had said, hey, I think there's a chance he plays this Sunday coming up, right? I would have said, you've lost your mind. But after what we heard today, I'm like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Aaron played with it, right? Yeah. These big offensive line played with the injury. Now, is there a chance of it doing more damage? Yeah, that's a fact. But I don't like that. We don't like that, Jam. We just showed up $220 million.
Right. That's that big factor, right? That's the Goody and front office factor of, hey, that's our franchise out there. Do we really need to rush them back, right? But
right.
I think I forgot if it was you that mentioned it, but I had heard somewhere, talking about Jordan. He really has been injury free most of his professional career, and so you got to think, something like this, maybe he does bounce back pretty quick from it. But my money's on September 29th against the Vikings for sure. Yeah. I think divisional game. We're at home. That would be a prime spot for him to return, and hopefully we win those previous 2 games, and Jordan's coming back, and it's almost like we didn't really our season is not in shambles already. But you're absolutely right, man. If he's out 3 to 4 weeks and they drop 3 or 4 games, we got our work cut out for us down the stretch for sure.
Definitely. If y'all would take a quick second, hit that like button for us. Feel free to sub to the channel, share it. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on this Monday evening as the Niners and the Jets are getting ready to kick off in I don't know how much time we got, about an hour roughly. So we're in good shape here. So here's some of the info I was referring to, guys. And well, first of all, Reef says let's not rush Jordan back. I feel we have a strong team.
Yep. I
can't argue with that point, Reef. I really can't. Because again, if you're risking getting him hurt worse, it's definitely not worth that risk. So I had tweeted this out, and it was actually a video I shared. I'm not going to play the video out of respect for the McAfee show, but it says Adam Schefter appearing on the Pat McAfee show says the Week 4 matchup between the Packers and Vikings, quote, could be a logical timeline and a logical spot for Jordan Love to come back from his MCL sprain. So when I heard that, this is before we got the news that Jordan was not going on IR, okay? So that came down the pike. And then we got this. All right. Full quote from LaFleur on Jordan Love. Quote, I felt a little confident, and this is from Wes Hocklowitz, by the way. I felt a little confident since he was moving after the game. He said, obviously he was in pain, but I wasn't even going to go there in my mind until I knew one way or the other. And thankfully, we got some relatively good news. All right.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
So he throws that out there. And then Matt Schneidman tweeted out, Jordan Love isn't going on IR, LaFleur says. Tim, this is absolutely huge news in my opinion. The fact that he's not going to be on IR, because what that simply means is you're not going to have to worry about him being out through Week 4, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean he's going to play Sunday, though.
No,
my gut's telling me there's a 99.9% chance that Jordan sits for the home opener, unfortunately.
Definitely. So here is another clip that we had. I think I grabbed it. Maybe I didn't. I had a sound bite I was going to play for you guys real quick. It was from Matt LaFleur's presser. And Tim, you might be on call here in just a second to just take some stuff from the chat and have a conversation with the good folks, because I'm tell you right now, I'm feeling like I'm about to go call some dinosaurs. We still battling this thing. It's bad. Oh. So if you hear some hot tua here in a second, you know what's going on, gang. All right. I'm trying to be in good spirits, but this bug's hanging on for sure. Here was Matt LaFleur earlier today at the presser, and he was basically asked about the quarterback position.
And is Malik going to be the guy as you go forward here, and are you preparing him to be the starter?
Yeah, if Jordan's not cleared, then we'll start Malik, and Sean will be the backup.
What's the possibility, say if Jordan isn't clear, what's the possibility of Jordan actually being ready for?
I couldn't give you a percentage, but if he gets cleared, we'll give him every opportunity like we always will. And, I know he's doing everything in his power. I know he's spending a lot of time trying to get back as soon as possible, but certainly we're not going to put him in a position where he can't protect himself, that he'd go out there.
There you go. So obviously the top priority, Tim, is for Jordan to protect himself. Everybody in the chat, do me a favor. Fire some questions at Tim, okay? I'm going to have to step away here in just a second. But on the surface there, Tim, the big thing that stood out to me was it wasn't just, the fact that he said as soon as he's cleared, he'll play. That was a big, big difference from what I was expecting, man. I was honestly expecting, it's going to be a few weeks. And the fact that the floor didn't lead in with that, it really told me something. I'll be right back, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that statement. I wouldn't get overly excited, boys and girls, about, like I said, Jordan playing this week. But hearing Coach talk about him not going to IR and, the situation we're in now where if he's cleared, he's going to have every opportunity to play. That gives us some hope, I think, as a fan base for sure. Let's go to the chat real quick here. Jay Dome in the chat says, will Love practice? ? Because missing some time will set him back a few weeks, even when he does come back in terms of timing, rhythm, etc. I would agree with that statement on the surface, but I would also think that, Jordan being QB1, as long as he's, in the building, in attendance, knows what's going on with the calls and the playbook, I think, timing and rhythm are things that'll probably iron themselves out in the first few snaps of a game when he does return. As far as him practicing, my guess is anything he does, practice wise is going to be probably extremely limited and probably would be more of rehab work than actual, reps with the ones kind of thing. But, time will tell. I would say keep an eye on, our trusted beat writers out there and see how it looks this week. But I wouldn't anticipate Jordan Love having any kind of, major reps on the practice field anytime soon, especially considering what Clayton just brought up where, you talk about getting the rest and, you want to be in a situation where you're allowing that MCL to kind of heal. So I don't think they're going to have Jordan do anything super heavy duty. I guess the one good sign is, it's a knee injury. So as far as him getting throws in, I don't think that would be a problem at all. Moving on in the chat, AFAM in the chat. How many feet are in a mile? Oh, that's a great question, AFAM. 5,280. Glad I could help you out. Let me know when your Google works. We also got Omer in the chat. Oh boy, Omer. Run the damn ball and let that overpaid $11.5 million running back earn his big fat paycheck. We'll flash it on the screen for a second. All right, Omer. So apparently you're not happy with Josh Jacobs. I get it. It's understandable. I personally think that we probably will see a little bit more of the run, considering that we're probably going to go with Malik Willis as your QB1 here this weekend. I would think that Matt's going to structure that call sheet around this young new quarterback, and we probably will see some more runs. We'll probably see, maybe a little RPO stuff, a little bit of razzle dazzle, nothing too complex, but I would agree with that statement. I don't think you're going to see, Malik Willis dropping back 100 times and, running through progressions and trying to make big time throws. I would think we'd lean on the run game. Josh Jacobs is that dude. Emmanuel Wilson is that dude. We've got some depth in the running back room. It'd be great to have Marshawn Lloyd at a time right now, but unfortunately we don't, and we're just going to have to go with the personnel we have. That's how it works. Injuries happen. Next man up. The old cliche. We've heard it 1,000 times. It's just what you have to do. We got Coach Monk in the chat. I'm telling you, Malik Willis is going to ball out. I love it. I love the positivity, Coach. I'm right there with you, man. We got to get behind our guys. And there's a reason that Goody made the move that he made there right at the end of camp. It's not as much of an indictment on, Michael Pratt as it is on the fact that Goody saw something in Malik Willis enough for him to go ahead and trade a pick to go get him. And we know that Goody values those draft picks. He holds them near and dear to his heart. He collects them like a collector. He loves to have picks in the draft. So to give up a pick to grab, Malik Willis says that they saw something there. They feel confident in what he's bringing to the table. And hey, we have to remember, guys, that, we're not going to know until we know. We got to throw this kid out there and see what he can do. And I'm with Coach Monk right here. I think there's a strong possibility that Malik Willis may take this opportunity and run with it, literally, and have a hell of a game against the Colts in the home opener. And we get back on track, get right game at home. I'm definitely with that. If you guys are checking us out right now, make sure you hit the like button. That would be great. Helps the algorithm bring more content to Packers fans. We're happy to be here and doing this for you. I know Clayton will be back in a minute. If there's any questions you guys got in the chat, feel free to shoot them through. Super chats are appreciated, but make sure you click that like button. And also don't forget, check us out on Packernet as well, your flagship for all the podcasts. We've got John in the chat here. Can a post MCL injury be re-injured with non-contact football move? Is there a doctor in the house?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, and there are no doctors in the house, but I will gladly give you some speculation. I would think, with a non-contact football move. So I'm assuming what John's saying here is, if Jordan drops back to pass and, sets that leg, is it going to buckle? Is something crazy going to happen? Could we see, something like we saw in the Super Bowl last year where he's, jogging out onto the field and all of a sudden, that knee gives out. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I would think that they're going to handle him with kid gloves here, especially these first couple of weeks, being that he is the franchise. Chat, if you guys want to jump in and give me your 2 cents, what do you guys think post MCL injury? Because it's important to remember that, this is an injury. Granted, he didn't blow his entire knee out. That's great. But, a grade 1 to 2 MCL is still serious. And I got to believe that it's something that can get worse if it's not rehabbed properly and not taken care of. So if there is a doctor in the house, that would be would be great if we could get someone to jump in and comment on that. But let's see, who else do we have here? We've got we'll just call you Legion. We got Legion in the chat. Willis is better than people think. The only problem he is not familiar with the offense. That's a great point. Malik Willis has basically been in Green Bay for a few weeks here. I don't know how much of the offense you can really grasp in just a few weeks, and especially not getting a lot of those reps with the ones. But I would anticipate practice this week is going to be Malik Willis with the keys to the offense, and go ahead and make those mistakes this week during practice so that we're ready to go on Sunday. Again, I think, Coach LaFleur is going to do the best that he possibly can as far as calling a good game and setting up, a play sheet that's going to cater to Malik Willis's strengths as a quarterback. And I don't think he's going to, try and give him too much on his plate to handle because you're right. I think you're absolutely right. He's not 100% familiar with this offense. That comes with time and reps. And we'll just see how the kid does on Sunday for sure. What's up, Clay?
All right, we're back.
Woo!
Hopefully that's the only time that we have to do that.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late?
Got hit with the late meet and drop on my own show. Boy, that's bad. That's how bad it's got. I heard you talking about Malik Willis. Did you pull this graphic up yet?
No, I haven't. I just hit the chat for a little bit. So this is
perfect segue. You didn't even know it, man. Good stuff.
Yes.
So Paul Brittle tweeted this out, said it's been just 2 weeks since the Packers acquired Malik Willis. LaFleur will now have to get him ready to start. Quote, he's grinded, he's learned the terminology, and is able to spit out the play calls, and we've got confidence in him. So if he truly did learn the entire terminology of the whole playbook, Tim, oh my goodness. I mean, that's phenomenal. Now, listen, one thing LaFleur's not going to say is come out in the press and go, yeah, this guy ain't got a damn clue what he's doing, So he's not going to say that. But that really is good to hear there, that he is. It sounds like he's got a pretty good grab of it. And again, he played in Tennessee the year that Arthur Smith took over for Matt LaFleur as the OC because Matt got the head coaching job. So that was Matt LaFleur's offense. A large majority of it was Matt LaFleur's offense in 2019. Now, I'm pretty sure – no, he wasn't even on the roster yet, was he? Malik wasn't. No,
I don't think so.
That would have been like 2020, 2021. So he has no experience. I keep getting him and Tannehill mixed up. So he has no experience with the Matt LaFleur offense because I'm pretty sure when Arthur Smith went to the Atlanta Falcons, I think they went in a different direction offensively. At least that's what it sounded like, hearing people talk about it today. So I know there were some rumors that maybe Tannehill might get a call. I think we can kind of put that to bed now. And whether he did get a call or didn't get a call, I know there's a lot of people trying to rake, Diana Rossini over the coals. I think she's a quality reporter. I think she did hear something that they had called and reached out. I don't understand the people who are just so quick to say, no, she's a buffoon, and Tom Pelissero knew,
If anything, Diana Rossini was probably the one with the stones to actually run with that lead, and being the first sometimes with information, you're subjected to a lot of the criticism too. So I would agree with that, Clayton.
Yeah. So we'll see though, man. Again, it sounds like Malik will be the starter and Sean Clifford will be the backup if if Jordan Love doesn't get cleared. And Matt LaFleur was real vocal about it. If he gets cleared,
he's playing.
If the doctors clear him, he's playing.
Yeah.
We know how these Green Bay doctors are, though. All right. I hope I wake up on Sunday morning, and we're hearing the news, Jordan Love's active. He's going. That's what I hope happens.
And if not, I hope Malik Willis at least has the Cliff Notes version of this offense down, and Matt LaFleur calls a kind of a vanilla game, and we squeak out with a 7-point victory at home. That's the worst case scenario for me.
What I would like to see with Malik Willis, don't try to drive the ball down the field with the concepts we love, the wolves, the daggers, the dog, all those different concepts we like, the slot crosses. But what you do want to run, a lot of waggle, a lot of boot, right? Get him out on the perimeter.
Yep.
And work that short intermediate RPO game. Because you can throw an RPR into there, the same as they've done with Jordan. But with Malik, guys, Malik Willis is one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league.
Yep.
So, again, we talked about the reason we still see Quay as the mock right now is because his strength is pass coverage. Same thing with Malik. It applies, man. What's his strength? It's his mobility. It's his ability to make guys miss and his elite speed. So build the game plan around that, right? Get him out on the perimeter. Get the defenders thinking about that. It's amazing how much it'll open things up at that short and intermediate level for sure. So I'm excited to see what he can do, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, when things like this happen around the Packers, I don't just chalk it up, oh, crap, the season's lost, we're screwed. No, I'm not playing that game.
Yep.
I immediately shift focus to, okay, what's the storyline this week? What do we need to key in on? What does the rest of the team need to do to pick up the slack? All those things, right? I think that stuff's really important. And when you learn to fan that way, it just makes the season so much more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
It really does.
Absolutely. This is a team sport, right? You're a fan of the team, and it sucks to lose your QB1 for any amount of time, but you got to rally behind the backup, whoever it is. I don't care if it. I mean, we know Kurt Warner's story, right? Like you don't think people rallied around him? The guy was bagging groceries, and the next minute he's winning a Super Bowl. I mean, there is precedence for this in the league, so there's really no reason not to be behind Malik Willis until we see something on film that leads us to believe otherwise. If he goes out and craps the bed, then we can have those conversations. But I think right now we owe it to ourselves and we owe it to the team as fans to get behind our backup quarterback here and go into our home opener and get a win against the Colts. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All righty. Let's see what else we got here. I was just kind of scrolling through the chat. There's a couple of comments I don't understand. I can't tell if people are arguing or if we don't want to open up that can of worms. So we want to keep this as positive as possible if that is the case. So what are you going to be missing in Jordan Love? I'm going to let this loop a couple times here, okay? This is one of the throws I came across watching the tape. And what I said in the tweet here, it needs to be said. We did a Chalk Talk segment, and if people are thinking, why didn't you include this? This was the throw of the night. And it truly was, Tim. This was the best throw of the night on both sides, both teams. But like I said in the tweet, every week there are plays that don't make Chalk Talk because they didn't really impact the outcome. With that being said, this throw and catch from Jordan Love to Jaden Reed gets me very excited for the next 5 to 7 years. All right, I'm going to let it loop here, and hopefully we won't get hit with anything. But watch this play. First of all, look at Josh Myers. God love him.
Oh, boy.
Keying on Josh Myers first. Look, he's set to seal this off. Cue up the circus music. Tim, it's every day.
I'm distracted by watching that film. Oh, my gosh.
It's crazy. Now, let's key in on the positive. Watch Jordan here. Roll left, cross his body, flick of the wrist. Guys, that's 45 yards down the field. And look at the catch by Jaden Reed, Tim. Like, this is wild, man. Look at that.
Yeah, boom. That's impressive. That's up there with I don't know if you watched the game last night. Did you see the one that Cooper Kupp snagged?
Yes.
Tapper on the sideline. Like that was just absolute incredible receiver and quarterback play. And this play right here reminds me of that.
I'll tell you what else it reminds me of, Tim. The Dallas throw, Aaron Rodgers to Jared Cook. Yeah. This is the same design. Go back and watch that play. The way they did it, though, was they had the left guard jump out to block, and they had to seal off the edge, and they had David Bakhtiari be the personal protector over to the left. So Aaron can roll left. This play specifically, they did it with Josh Myers.
I keep watching Josh Myers. I can't.
It's so bad, Tim.
He looks like he's out there looking for a donut or something. Like what do I do now?
And the way he falls.
And then luckily he slipped and fell so that we didn't get a block in the back.
Yes. Like right here, you just got to hit him with right there. That's just that's not what you want your PP, your personal protector, to look like on that little rollout, that design rollout. So, but again, man, this throw, Tim, oh my God, bro.
That was for Josh Myers, not for the throw.
Exactly.
The throw was on point. You know what the best part is though, like you said, Clayton, right here at the top. The instant he sees that middle of the pocket start to collapse, he spins out and he's rolling. No hesitation. We saw last year Jordan was a little guilty of hanging around in there a little too long. Mm-hmm. And you want a quarterback to stand tall in the pocket and not be afraid of that pressure. But there are times when you got to break out of there and create space and extend the play, and that's exactly what we saw here.
I do believe that was designed, Tim. I really do. I think that play was designed for him to sell the pocket, roll left, have Josh Myers come out, seal it off. That gives you time to attack at 3 levels, because you'll notice he's got 3 targets, 3 levels. You got Tucker Kraft underneath, you got Jaden Reed in the middle, and then you got, I think it's Christian Watson running that go route down there. So
that would have been even more impressive if he could scoot on that go ball, throwing it on the run. But these off-platform throws, we see Jordan do these with regularity. That's not easy. He makes it look easy. It's not easy to do things like this. And the ball placement was absolutely perfect in a spot where our guy can get it and the defender can't. And you give your guy a chance to make a play. That's what these guys do. Jaden Reed is a playmaker. Throw that ball up there, see what happens. Worst thing that can happen there is an incomplete. Yeah,
definitely. And again, that's what you've got with the arm talent. These are the things that, like Greg Cosell was talking about with Jordan Love. The arm talent's there. Is he going to be the same player week in and week out? When things don't go right, he's going to be able to adjust and handle the pressure being a starting quarterback. I think he's proven that he can. So, just an awesome play. That was definitely the throw of the night right there, though. Just a phenomenal throw. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap up hour number 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour number 2.